So one of the more interesting questions that's kind of come to the front in terms of the founding doctrine and the ideas presented in it of individual liberty and sovereignty is whether or not the American flag should be respected. So as a young man in high school, and of course without a proper civics education, without a proper history education, and if, to be a little bit personal, without really a positive male role model of any sorts to instruct me otherwise, I refused to place my hand over my heart or to repeat the Pledge of Allegiance. This was my practice through all 4 years of high school. And I did this because I was opposed to a large centralized authority. And I saw this, tradition of sorts as a type of compulsion to try to coerce an allegiance to this governmental structure, which I imagine, like many people who think in a similar fashion as I do, I have always been apprehensive and distrustful and largely disrespectful towards those who assume a position of authority. And so this is my defiance towards that type of system at the time. Now, of course, as an adult and having acquired sufficient education, I have no such inhibition with swearing any allegiance to the flag. And the primary difference is not the song or the flag itself or the pledge, but just the clarification to the symbolic representation that the flag has. So the American flag, it doesn't actually represent government at all. In fact, it represents and symbolizes no government, and especially does not represent the federal Leviathan, to coin a phrase from our good friend Thomas Hobbes. Not the centralized authority and the unconstitutional administrative state that currently defines American government. The flag is a symbol, and of course, as all symbols then, it represents the founding doctrine. It represents something beyond the surface. So understanding then what the founding doctrine is, which can be difficult given the world we live in today. And this was part of the impetus, actually, of why I wrote the 1787 Project, was to clarify these things and try to bring to the forefront this idea of natural rights, that rights exist in us to protect us from government and also from society. Of course, America is the only nation that's ever been founded on those principles. No matter how far it might have fallen from those principles throughout various stages in our history, the truth remains that the pursuit of those principles is what has defined American history. So when you understand that the flag represents those ideals and not even modern conceptions, it makes it much easier to feel that sense of patriotism. Again, not for the nation as a physical thing, but as it was meant to be and can be. I believe if enough people learn and are educated and kind of throw off the shackles of this fatalism that seems to pervade a lot of politics today. So the flag really represents then individual liberties being protected by government, from government, and from society, and the formation of a government by the people, with a rejection of monarchy, oligarchy, majoritarian tyrannies, and all these other archaic systems. And this does include slavery. There's such an overwhelming argument in academia that seeks to say otherwise, and my best suggestion is to read Volume 1 of the 1787 Project. I detail it exhaustively. And Volume 2 just elucidates these concepts even further. So the flag is really more of a nostalgic symbol. And what we should learn from that then today is the extreme deviation in the modern day from those presented ideals. So the flag and the tenets that it represents, it serves as a rejection to ancient tyranny and also to present despotism. And it does this for the same reasons that I chose not to recite the pledge in my youth. It rejects the idea of tyranny, centralized authority, and coerced loyalty. So the deviation then from the ideals of the flag can also be remedied in much the same way as my youthful ignorance and defiance was remedied. And that's through a proper, factual, and true historical education. So thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and tell a friend. Tell all of your friends. Also, visit www.1787project.com to learn more.